monthly check-in. Second check-in, the 15th of August 2023. This is monthly check-in, either 3 or 4. This is me doing my monthly check-in. Today is the 19th of October 2023. So today is the 25th of November, 5:55 p.m. I am actually so disappointed in myself, and I had to do a quick check-in. 6th of January 2024 is monthly check-in. February. Guys, if there's one word I can't pronounce, it's February. Like, how do you even pronounce that word, to be honest? It's the 6th of March 2024. Today is Sunday, 24th of March 2024. For the next couple of months, it's gonna be pretty hectic. But yeah, this is my update for my first day internship. Like 20 days left, and then inshallah it's my birthday. I'm super excited. That is crazy. I can't believe I'm saying this because I never thought I would be consistent. 12:39 p.m. and I failed, and I don't want to hear that word. I'm already getting sad. Hi, I feel like I haven't done a monthly check-in in such a long time. For an interview, oh my god, where should I start? Let's just like start from where I am now and how I got here. Well, first things first, I'm currently in Copenhagen for Fashion Week. What? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. That sounds so crazy to say. I never say that. I've noticed I actually never record intros for my videos. Anyways, today, as requested by, I would say, most of the people that actually watch my videos, I posted my self-improvement series part 1 literally a month ago, I would say, or maybe a bit longer. Everyone was in the comments was asking me for a part 2, even though I'm thinking they literally wanted a part 2 of the trauma dumping that I did and more stories. But I was like, guys, I will not dig up more traumas. I will just get into the topic. That video was like more me getting into the topic of like how I actually started my self-improvement journey, as I like to call it myself. I wanted to talk about systems and how to set systems and not goals, because I feel like that's kind of a misconception. When people want to achieve something, they always tend to have a goal, which is amazing to have. It's obviously, I would say, the first like starting point of a journey. Like, you can't have a system without a goal or an end destination. But I do think the if you would like weigh both of them, I would say systems are obviously more important than setting a goal. So that's what I was going to talk about today, considering it's also November, so we've got like what, 6 weeks left, not even 5 weeks left until January, and people tend to like set more goals around that time of the year. And so I just thought this is going to be the first topic that we kind of discuss. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first thing that we obviously need to get out of the way is, like, for the people that actually don't know, what is a system? I've asked Google and it says a system is a set of things working together as parts of a mechanism or an interconnecting network, a complex whole. So now that we kind of got that out of the way and you kind of know what systems are, I would like to start with my own story. I feel like when I talk about a certain topic, I always have to talk about my own story, and rather it just gives me like, it's a way that I can kind of give you guys examples of how my journey actually was, instead of like putting things out of thin air and saying things that I've seen on the internet. For example, for me, I've started reading the book Atomic Habits. I think I have it like literally right behind me. I have my book stack. But Atomic Habits, I will be honest with you guys, I haven't finished the book. The Envida, like, honestly, the only reason why I did that is because it was a time that I was reading like so many self-help books, and I didn't like kind of get the gratification out of it. And it was like, this book, it gives you so much information, which I will be honest with you guys, even though I haven't read the book, there's this guy on TikTok that all the principles of like how you can establish like habits and small steps and stuff like that, he goes into it. So I know what the book is about without even reading it, because he always goes into depth on how it like what the book exactly talks about. Moral of the story is, I have read the book, and I think my journey actually started in like, it's gonna sound so crazy, but my journey actually started like in 2016, which is like 8 years ago. I will say this, those 8 years that I was kind of like striving towards the best version of myself, I'm kind of seeing the fruits of my labor literally in this year and last year. Like,
I would say 2023, 2024, that's when I started to see progress. Because 2016 to 2020 did not have the resources and I know like every New Year's I would set goals and things that I wanted to reach by the end of the next year, but it never worked out because I was focusing on the goals rather than the things that I needed to do to achieve that goal. It was always about the goal rather than the system that I was setting up. From 2016 to 2020, so there were no progress whatsoever. And then obviously 2020, that's when the pandemic hit. I kept focusing on the goal rather than the system that I was kind of setting up, and I realized that way too late. 2022, that's when I've kind of like obviously learning from your mistakes. I would always like set a goal and I would never achieve it because I did not have the correct steps to achieve it. I never had the A to B. It was like, oh, I wanna, for example, lose 10 kgs, but I never had like, oh, I'm gonna go 5 times a week to the gym, or 3 times. I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna do this, and this is what I'm gonna eat, this is that amount of nutrition I'm gonna eat. I did not have this step-by-step time. I've learned from my mistakes. The goal, I would go into steps that I would take, and I would love to discuss with you guys these steps. The main reason why I wasn't actually seeing results those 6 years and I was seeing results the last 2 years is because again, I wasn't really setting goals, I was setting systems. Honestly, the first thing that you always need to do before you start with anything is like where do you see yourself and what do you actually want to achieve? You can't say, oh, I want to lose 10 kgs. Okay, but what's your vision? What does 10 kg look like to you? Where do you see yourself? When you reach that goal, how are you gonna look? What's your like body goal? Like, you can't really say, oh, 10 kgs and that's it. The first step is define your vision, and then you break the vision down into daily steps. What I personally would do is I would, let's say at the beginning of each year, I would actually do this at the end of each year. I would reflect on the previous year and then I would set goals for the next year. For example, 2025 is coming up. I'm not gonna sit behind my desk on the January 1st 2025. I would do it like maybe a week or two before that, and I would reflect on the previous year and then set goals for the next one. This is such an important thing that I do, and I will go into more detail. So after setting the goal for the coming year, what I would do is, like, instead of being like, oh, this is what I want to achieve in that year, I would split it into 12 months, obviously. So January, February, March, April, so on and so forth. From that point on, obviously you have the goal, you would split it up. For example, let's say I'm gonna go back to, because I feel like for me it was always about weight loss, not anymore, but I think that's where my whole journey started, and that's how I kind of figured things slowly, like that's how I slowly figured things out. It was like splitting that big like goal that I had, I would split it into 12. And let's say I wanted to lose 10 kgs. I would say, okay, so by which month do I want to lose like 10 kgs? I would say, okay, let's say by the summer, I want to be, if I'm 70 kgs, I want to be 60 kgs. Okay, now I know I have 6 months, like a 6-month window to achieve that specific one goal that I have. Then I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, so I have 6 months to achieve that goal. How am I gonna do it in those 6 months? And then you will split that 10 kg, for example, over the span of 6 months. You would say, oh, that's gonna be approximately maybe 1 something. I'm not really good with math. And then to lose maybe 2 kgs every month, or a little bit less than that, how am I gonna achieve that? And then each month you would have that specific goal of losing, let's say 2 kgs. And you would say, okay, I'm gonna work out. If you've never worked out before, you can start maybe with 2 days, okay? And gradually build it up. Because one thing is, you never start with, let's say if you've never been to the gym before, you can't say, oh, I'm gonna start going to the gym 5 times a week. That's, I feel like, the biggest mistake that everyone makes. When you have a certain goal, for example, if you want to start your own business, all of a sudden you're gonna start with like putting a huge load of tasks on your shoulder while you should be taking baby steps. Start with something like, start with a smaller portion and build up from there. There's no way you can go from never being in the gym before to going 5 times a week. That's just impossible. And if you do that, that means you have amazing discipline. But the thing is, not everyone has discipline. So in order for you to develop the discipline that you want to have, you need to start with those baby steps. Like, you need to build it up. Ask me, bro. I've been struggling with 8 freaking years, because I told you, like, this is like from the time that I remember, it was 2016 that I actually like became more conscious and thought, okay, 2016, I would say, how old was I? 2016, I was 14 years old. I was like, okay, I want better for myself. From that time till now, as I said before, I'm seeing the fruits of my labor the last 2 years. I have struggled with this. There was a time that I was going to the gym maybe five times a week. I was doing that for maybe 2 weeks, and then I would fall off and never step a foot in the gym because it was like mentally and physically exhausting. Obviously, baby steps, you build that up. Maybe you can say, okay, 2, 3, 4 days, and then from there you can build it up, and you will see that, I swear to God, I would say I'm a true testament to that, because I can speak from experience. I go 5 times a week to the gym now. If you would have told me that maybe 3 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago, I would have been like, you're crazy, because for me that was such a huge like step to take. Also discipline, again, it's something that I already gave you guys, I think, a bit of an example of like how breaking down your vision into daily steps works. If I'm looking this way, I have my notes here. Breaking down your vision goes into multiple factors. For example, as I said before, if you want to improve your fitness, maybe commit to a 30-minute exercise for maybe 2 times a week. If you want to write a book, maybe write 500 pages, I don't know, every week. Something something really small. Don't burden yourself with a huge load of activities when you're starting out. After breaking down the vision, you go into the creating of the schedule. For me, this is my favorite part, because I swear to God, I am such a when I say writer, like I love to write anything and everything down. I have a journal, like a physical journal, and I have a digital journal, and on top of that, I love documenting things like this on YouTube and stuff like that, and on my social media. Creating a schedule for me, I'm one of those people, like I even write down if I'm gonna drink a tea during the day, because it's so satisfying to cross something off your list. But creating a schedule, it's like a cycle. So I told you, like, I have a goal for a year. Like, let's say I have 10 goals in a year. That 10 goals, I break it down into each month. And then each month, for example, if I want to learn a new language, I will go to classes once a week. And then that's on my schedule, and the moment I thought about that idea, I write it down in my calendar, and I make sure that I execute it. Creating a schedule, how I personally do it, is at the end of each week, each month, and each year, I always reflect, even at the end of each day. But I don't do that as often anymore, considering like I'm a bit more busy now, so I genuinely don't have the time for it. So don't, again, burden yourself with something that you can't handle. There was a time that I used to always like reflect daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. I would never go into the next week with something that I should have done this week. So let's say, for example, if I want to finish reading a book this week, I will never go into the next week without me finishing that book. Create a schedule. By the end of each week, reflect on what you've done the previous one, and then make a plan for the next one. Integrate the system into your daily life. So for example, if your system is exercising, or you want to exercise daily, make sure that you do that, for example, every morning before you go to work, if you have the time, or maybe during your lunch break, but try to find a time of the day that you could incorporate that. And also have reminders. If it's really hard for you to keep up that promise, try to find a way that you can remind yourself. Maybe set an alarm, maybe do something like, I don't know, ask your friend to keep you motivated, or to remind you of that specific thing. While that system is kind of set up and you're doing that thing every day, it kind of becomes a habit, and you wouldn't have to think like over the span of maybe 3 weeks, if you keep consistent with that specific system or that specific goal that you have, it's gonna become a habit. And at some point, you really wouldn't have to think about it. It will become like second nature to you. It's like, oh, it will become a part of your identity. Going to the gym now is such a big part of my identity that, like, I don't even think about it twice. Like, I know every morning I wake up, the gym bag is packed, go out, work during lunch break, go to the gym, come back. During night, wash my clothes, hang them, and repeat. Like, it became such a process in my day-to-day life. Like, I don't even think about it anymore. And I will not lie to you guys, at first it's gonna become such a hassle to get that into your system. But again, try to find a way to remind yourself, to someone someone to hold you accountable. Like, always try to find a way. And I will tell you this, if you do not keep yourself accountable, no one else will. The moment that I realized that I actually had to get my shit together was when I realized, like, no one cares about if you're gonna be like no one cares about your health, your well-being. Maybe your mom, like my mom actually, like she would always like try to get me to do stuff. But the thing is, besides maybe the people that actually love you, besides even them, like they will never care about you enough. They say like it's you're alone and you always have to do what's best for you, because no one else will do it for you. No one else will do that for you. Like if you set a goal, I promise, like think about it now. Have you ever set a goal for yourself, and who reminded you to achieve that goal? Maybe you have that one person in your life, but I promise you that's like 1%. Like if you have that, you're lucky. Usually that's not the case. Even if they remind you, they can't really force you to do that thing, you know? You always have to keep showing up for yourself, because no one else will show up for you. Achieving something in life is never easy, because if it was easy, everyone would be like fit, everyone would be rich, everyone would be academically successful, everyone would be like whatever, like the best version of themselves. But the thing is, it's not an easy process, hence why most people never achieve that. Or like the sad reality is, there's people that have like so many goals and ambitions and dreams. If they were even a tad bit disciplined, they would become maybe the greatest people, but that ambition will never be anything. That's actually so sad if you think about it. With me, sometimes that I think, what if I'm not like good enough? What if like, okay, I don't doubt myself, I will tell you that, but then I think to myself, what if I haven't reached my potential, and I never will, only because I'm not locking in enough. Like I saw a post last time, just a little side rant. I saw a post last time and was talking about if I was locked in enough, I would actually be where I was supposed to be, or I would be where I want to be, because I feel like we are where we're supposed to be, but you're not where you want to be, you know? Even though I would say I'm really disciplined in certain aspects of my life. Like I will always show up for myself. Never have I actually oh my god, my ring. The fourth step is to always track your progress. So for me, how I always track my progress is I do these monthly check-ins. So to make it a bit more fun for myself, and maybe you can do that too, as I said before, I even have my journal in here so I can show you guys. These are like my daily check-ins, okay? These are my daily check-ins. These are my daily check-ins. My weekly check-ins are not really check-ins. They usually happen when I'm doing work on my calendar. As I said before, I don't go into the next week without finishing what I had planned the last week. My monthly check-ins and my yearly ones are the most fun. I started doing this last year, my monthly check-ins, and I can even share a bit of videos and progress videos from each month. At the end of each month, I will go into detail about what I have going on at that moment. For example, I know beginning of this year, for example, I was battling a lot of things, such as my school. I was doing my license, like so many things was going on. You could see, like, even before me, like without me looking at last year, even this year, you could see I would monthly check in with myself every month at the end of the month, and I would go like, okay, this is what's bothering me this month. And sometimes it's gonna be for me like it's like a therapy session, because I don't like discussing my issues with other people. Like that's one thing I usually don't do, and I feel like there's one or two people that I've actually done that in my life. And you know, if I did that, I even hate the fact thinking about that. The thing is, like the monthly check-ins, I would sit there and I would go, okay, what's on my plate this month? And I would go, okay, I have like 3 exams, I'm super stressed out, I'm not sure if I'll be able to like pass these exams. And I would go, okay, why won't you be able to pass these exams? I would literally self-talk myself, and I would go, yeah, maybe because I didn't study enough, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Okay, how can you improve that? And I would go, okay, maybe I need to study a bit more. Like, okay, next week, instead of like studying, maybe sometimes like I would study maybe 20 hours a week. I would go, okay, this week you're gonna study 30. If needed, you will study 40 hours a week. Just an example, okay? So on and so forth. So I would always, during these videos, I would like self-talk myself. It was kind of a therapy session for myself. And then by the end of it, the funny thing is, by the next month, I would also discuss it. In the previous month, I would go, okay, what do you want to achieve next month? Okay, next month, I want to like pass this exam. I want to get my license, and then so on and so forth. Like, and I would see that by me being aware of the situation, talking myself through it, having these goals in my mind, and having the solution on how I will solve this problem that I'm currently experiencing, by the next month, by the next check-in, the issue that I was having previously will not even be a topic because I've already solved that this month. And then, but this month, maybe there's like a new upcoming issue or something that I'm like kind of battling. So those are my monthly check-ins. I would always check in with myself. Always. It was like a parole officer. Parole officer is crazy. Guys, this is when you know you've consumed too much true crime. Because what do you mean like a parole officer? I never thought about it better. So yeah, track your progress. Talk to yourself about it. See what aspects of your life am I lacking in. Where do I want to be, guys? That's where you start. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in a year? If you would have asked me now, guys, I know where I want to be next week, next month, like I know exactly. And the thing is, I have a vision because I talked about it in my head, like to myself so many times. I've journaled about it. I have set the goal. I have set the system that it's like there's no roadblock. Like I genuinely, it seems like okay, it's not a smooth road. Obviously it's more difficult than you usually think it is, but at least I have a vision. I know where I want to be. So see where you want to be. See where you see yourself. Anywho, step 5. Step 5 is, again, I think I discussed this at the beginning of the video. It's to start small and gradually improve or gradually like build up. Because avoid overwhelming yourself by trying to do so much at once. Begin with manageable steps and scale as you gain confidence. Yeah, as literally says, like I think I've talked about it. Like try to start with small steps, and from there you can build up. It's like you can't, guys, build the foundation first. I don't know if I can give advice on this aspect because I feel like I really don't like talking about Islamic topics because I don't have enough knowledge, you know. But for me, when I had really, because I want to be transparent, I did have a lot of like difficulty with praying on time, and sometimes even praying around. That was like, I don't want to go into it, but like I think we've all been through it, you know, like imanos and stuff like that. For me, I would always like focus on one specific prayer, and I would say, okay, prayer do people usually have difficulties with, it's always Fajr and Isha, right? I would say, okay, maybe those prayers I usually delay, or those prayers I'm not really more attentive to. So I would literally force myself, like not per se force, but I would pay close mind to those 2 specific prayers. So it's like a build up. So when I have those prayers locked in, which are the most difficult ones, I would maybe like, the other ones are usually relatively easy. Those are the ones that I actually had to get out of the way and like fix. But the point is like gradually start. Even if there's people, like there are people, sometimes people approach me and like, for example, okay, I don't want to say this, no, never mind. Kind of wrap up step 5. It's like small consistent steps or actions are more sustainable than if you would like put everything like try to do everything at once and risk a burnout. Because 6 is focus on discipline and not motivation. Oh my god, guys, let me tell you guys about discipline and not motivation. These, like I would say the first 6 years that what I was talking about, like 2016 to 2022 ish, I was working on motivation and not discipline. The thing is, with motivation, it comes and goes. There's times that I'm laying in my bed and I'm like, I hate myself. Guys. Oh my god, that hurt. You see my ring? I just like literally, there has been times that I've been laying in my bed, for example, and I go, oh my god, I'm so motivated. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up at 4 and then I'm gonna work out and then I'm gonna do and then comes tomorrow and then you hear my alarm going off and I'm like, off, snooze. So motivation is that one thing that I hate motivation, guys. I swear to god. Because what do you mean I'm having a burst of like motivation now and tomorrow I'm not having the same burst? Like, what are you even on about? For example, today, okay, today I was cleaning my house and like planning and like getting my financial situation sorted out and like making videos and stuff like that. Like today was like kind of like get your shit together day for me. So today I had such a burst of motivation. I was like, okay, tomorrow I want to go to the gym. Like I want to wake up at 4 and I want to do an at-home workout. That was the burst of motivation I was talking about. I have experienced this before, that I said that and then next morning I didn't do shit. So tomorrow I will try to stay disciplined to do that. So I feel like sometimes I just can't find the exact words to describe what I want to say. So I would read it, like I will read it off my notes. So it says, focus on discipline, not motivation. Accept that you won't always feel motivated. Build your systems so it relies on discipline and routine rather than willpower. You have lack of motivation, but you want to build your discipline. Try to find ways that you can build that discipline by staying organized. Me, for example, having my gym bag ready the night before or in the morning before I even like get out of the house, way for me to stay organized and not even think about like me going to the gym. It's like, oh, my bag is already ready. Like I don't have an option. Like just grab it and go. The same thing goes with me like preparing lunch for work. I always prepare my lunch the night before, always, because I know in the morning if I do not prepare the lunch night before or like I meal prep and stuff like that, I make a healthier meal. I know for a fact I will, for example, not per se wake up late, but considering I'm not used to like making lunch in the morning usually, or lunch in the morning, I will go out of the house without having lunch, and then that means I have to buy something. Usually when I have the option, I'm not disciplined enough. I will go into a store and buy myself a wrap, which would not be like a healthier option compared to like what I would usually take. Last, I would say I've got a couple of more points, but I will like literally skim through them because I feel like I'm kind of going too deep into this topic. I would say the next step is be flexible and adapt. As I said before, regularly evaluate your systems to improve them. Align it with your goals. Like now, you might have a goal beginning of January and you might not have the goal at like maybe in November. So always evaluate and see what has changed. Are my goals aligned with where I want to be now and stuff like that. So always be flexible and be able to adapt to your new situation. You might not be able. There was a time that I've set the goal for myself to upload 2 videos a week, but I got evicted from my place and I couldn't even upload 1 video a week, so I kind of had to adapt. And that didn't mean that I wasn't disciplined. It meant just I didn't have the resources at that time, so we tried to adapt. And here I am now filming, now that I have the resources. So try to adapt, be flexible, see where you want to be, see where you want it to be, and see if that aligns. You know what I'm saying? That was so fake. Celebrate small wins. This is my problem. Honestly, I never celebrate my wins, guys. I never do. Like for some reason, I'm always like striving to like, it's like not a bad thing because that means I'm like hungry for progress, you know. For example, if I my goal was, for example, to hit 1K on YouTube, and I did, and I was like, oh yay, that was it. And then now I'm almost hitting 2K and I'm like oh yay, like, but I'm like you can be happy about it because this is the effort that you put in. Be happy about your small wins. And these are goals, by the way, that I set for myself, that I would reach these goals before the end of the year, and I have. But then again, I'm not celebrating because I'm always striving towards, like, I'm thankful, don't get me wrong, I'm alhamdulillah always thankful, but then something inside of me is like, oh, now that you've reached that, there's a possibility that you can achieve more, so go towards the next step. Okay, so now December hasn't hit yet, you know, so your goal is, for example, to reach 2K in December. You have like, I would go, maybe there's a possibility that you can reach maybe 3K in December. Like, I'm just giving you guys examples. So I personally, I don't think I can talk about celebrating small wins. In some aspects I do. For example, when I now that I've lost weight, I'm trying to build muscle, and I can feel my muscles kind of like showing, and I can feel, not per se showing, but like, you know, with the first 3-4 weeks you can kind of like feel your muscles are a bit more like, you know, you can see them or you can feel them more. That makes me really happy. Even though I don't really celebrate it, I'm proud of myself that I showed up for myself and that I've achieved that specific small goal that I set for myself. So sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I think that's a thing that I need to work on. But again, it's not the biggest issue that I have. I think it's not something toxic. It's more of like me knowing my potential and thinking, oh, if I've achieved this, I can achieve more. So it's not like me being like, oh, you don't deserve it, you don't, no. So just like always look at how you see things and how you feel about them. And of course, last but not least is trust the process, guys. Trust the process. My ego is like, in a healthy way again, because I don't think I'm an egotistical person, but I would say I value myself, I respect myself, and I have a lot of confidence, which means like usually when I set a goal for myself, I already believe that I've achieved that. Like if you like, I'm not even trying to be cocky, guys. The amount of goals that I've set for myself and that I've achieved, it kind of proved to myself like anything that I set my mind to, it's possible, alhamdulillah. So like trust the process. Like that's how I got to where I am now. I get that, like I feel like most of my viewers now are like a bit younger than me usually, so I get a lot of DMs from like girls, I don't know their age, but I'm assuming from the questions that they ask that they're a bit younger than me, and they usually go, oh, like how did you get to the point that you can do things on your own, like how did you get to the point that you're confident and this and that. And I'm like, guys, this is like when you, it's not that you get cocky, but let's say you set a goal for yourself, you achieve that goal, you set the next one, you achieve that one, you set the other one, like you've set, let's say out of the 10 goals you've set, you achieved 9. It kind of makes you deep, like you're not gonna doubt yourself anymore, you know. And for me, alhamdulillah, I've always achieved whatever I set my mind to because I have worked hard to achieve that specific goal that I set my mind to. So that's where my confidence comes from, you know. And it's not because of me, it's because of God, you know. I will not take the credit for it, because again, I wouldn't be able to achieve those goals without the will of God, you know. Let me just like, because I feel like ego is not a good thing per se. I mean, it depends how you see it, but usually it's not a good thing. But I am humble, don't get me wrong. I'm just like very confident. I think I'm not egotistical, I'm just confident. And alhamdulillah, I'm not overly confident because obviously, but but I am confident. So but trust the process and believe in yourself. Honestly, like I think the reason why I achieve most of my goals is because I genuinely believe that I can achieve those things, and I never play for myself. I never think I'm stupid. I know I'm not stupid. I never think, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be able to achieve. No, even if like, guys, sometimes I think to myself, the rooms that I used to be in and the rooms that I'm in now are so completely different, and I'm not even where I am supposed to be. And do you know how crazy that sounds? Like the rooms that I was maybe like a year ago, and the people that I know and the rooms that I'm in now are like, it's like a complete, I wouldn't say 180, but it's a complete me being stupid, 190. So it went, so it's not completely there, you know. 190 meant 90 degrees. I think yeah, so honestly, I think this is where I'm gonna end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like I was rambling on the whole time. This video is probably like 40 minutes long, but I will probably cut it down to like the amount of like I feel like I was just yapping a bit too much like I am now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, like let me know, and I will try to keep up with this whole like self-improvement series. And like if you have like a specific topic that you want me to talk about, like just leave it in the comments. And I think that's about it. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Set of things working together as a I hate this. Anyways, so